Last week, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do for this week's video, but soon after I was thinking about how much I really enjoyed painting flowers. If you guys don't already know, one of my favorite things to paint is flowers. I figured I would do another Paint With Me video. If you are not familiar with what those are, they are pretty much tutorials. I have noticed that on those kind of videos, the one difference between tutorials and Paint With Me videos is that tutorials are more instructional. Paint With Me videos are more of visual learning, where the watcher paints what they see on the screen while the artist talks about whatever's on their mind. I already get off topic whenever I attempt to do tutorials anyway, but you guys said that you guys enjoy whenever I talk about random things, so I figured I would continue to do so. Plus, as a viewer of other art channels, I found I have enjoyed videos where the artist talks about relatable things rather than talking at you with instructions. But yeah, anyway, back to the video. I was super excited to paint flowers because I've been really excited to work in my sketchbook. For a while, I've been super anxious to fill up the pages, but I've just not gotten around to doing so lately because I've been so busy with school. I wanted this video to be pretty relaxed and practical, so instead of using my tube acrylics, I decided to use my acrylic craft paint in a bottle. Like I said, I wanted it to be practical, so I was considering what a beginner artist would be able to afford. Plus, in my sketchbooks, I prefer the matte finish acrylic craft paint has rather than the plastic kind of appearance nicer acrylics have. And not only that, but if I used my tube acrylics, the paintings would stick to each other when I shut my sketchbook. But anyway, this is the same sketchbook that I got from Five Below. If you haven't seen that video of me using supplies from that store, the results are interesting. Despite the headache this sketchbook gave me because of how crappy the paper was, I still get motivation from it. The cover is super pretty, and I have found that a good cover on a sketchbook always gets my inspiration running. That's why, if the cover of a sketchbook looks ugly, I paint over it, just so I can get more motivation to work in it. Most of the covers of sketchbooks that I get usually look fine, but for some reason the Canson XL Mixed Media sketchpad is just, I don't know, the cover is really ugly in my opinion. I know they're trying to market their brand, so they put it really big on the front cover, but that's just not my style, so I just paint over it. Don't get me wrong, the Canson Mixed Media paper is super nice. It's thick enough so that if you use watercolors or a wet media, while it may buckle a bit, it wouldn't buckle quite as much as printer paper would. And another thing I really like about it is that it's thick enough that if you are a really heavy-handed person with drawing like I am, it can take the beating. But yeah, another thing I like about the Five Below sketchbook is that it's a bound sketchbook. I didn't realize how much I would prefer having a bound sketchbook over a spiraled sketchbook until now. After I'm finished with the Five Below sketchbook, I think I will never want to go back to a spiral sketchbook. To me, I feel like the spiral just kind of gets in the way when I'm drawing, and I just like having it all there. It's really weird, but I just preferably would want a bound sketchbook rather than a spiral one. Now, if you guys watched that Five Below video that I made while I was using the sketchbook, you guys will know that I had many problems with this paper, and you may be wondering why I would ever want to use it again. What I usually do is I create my artwork on a thicker, better quality paper, maybe like mixed media paper, or perhaps I'll just use cardstock depending on the medium. I wouldn't recommend using cardstock for watercolors, but if you're just using craft paint like I did, I think cardstock is fine in my opinion. But after I create my artwork, I then glue the pieces into my sketchbook. I would prefer getting the work directly in my sketchbook, but it is pretty fun getting to decorate my sketchbook pages, so I'm not complaining too much. It's fun using my pretty washi tapes and watching the pages fill with my pretty artwork that I'm proud of. When I was painting these flowers, I was really enjoying the process. It was just super relaxing using my cheaper paints and watching as the artwork slowly came together. I think my favorite thing about painting flowers is the layers that it takes to complete the petals. Something about layering the colors on them is just relaxing and it's a really satisfying process to me. I think another thing I really enjoyed about painting these pictures was getting to add the paint splatters to the background. If you ever find your background to be a little plain, you can never go wrong with adding paint splatters. I find the process fun, and you can also use that technique if you have some extra paint left over that you don't really want to use. I noticed that I had a lot of extra light pink left over, so what I did was I used water and watered it down, and I also used it as the background. I wasn't too focused on having a solid, clean background. I just kind of did a light wash over it, and I added the splatters. I like having a messy background just because I was not really in the mood to come up with something super perfect, and I was just kind of wanting to relax and let myself do what I wanted. To me, backgrounds aren't the most important thing. They're kind of low-key. The only reason why I add a background is if I just had a white one, it would kind of look like the picture's floating in space. So what I do is I do a solid color and usually just add splatters, and that's what my background is. While it's not anything super special, it's better than having like a white space, but it's also not something you have to put a lot of effort into. I would say my favorite flowers that I created would either be the lotus or those flowers that I painted last on the third piece. The reason why I really like the lotus is that I think it's the cleanest piece. It looks the best in my opinion. It was really fun layering. The second flower, I enjoyed painting it, but since I already painted the lotus, it was kind of the same thing, just a repeated thing. But the third piece, I really enjoyed painting those flowers, I would say the most, just because it was kind of messy. I didn't really let the paint dry, but it was pretty fun watching something a little messy become a picture. It's kind of hard to explain, and I'm a bit tired right now, so mind my words. I'm sorry, I'm like super vague on the names. I can't quite remember the name of the flowers. I'm blanking out on those names right now. But anyway, I think I'm running out of things to talk about for this video, so I guess we're nearing the end of it. As always, I would appreciate if you checked out my social media handles in the description box down below. I would also love it if you guys liked, commented, and turned on those notification bells if you subscribed. I'm still working out what video I'll do once I reach 300 subscribers, so if you guys have any ideas, comment in the description box down below. Wait, not the description box. Comment in the comment section. I am so tired. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next video.